quick explanation. I'm in a hotel room. I drove 6 hours. That whole 6 hours I was waiting to say this. Look really closely at your spelling. Look at it. J-H-O-N. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's a word that I'm trying to think of. Pwned. Pwned in spelling. I pwned you. That rarely happens. So quick explanation as to why I read Near Nodge was because I was actually thinking of it on like one single line. So really, I was thinking fourth dimensionally. 1.21 gigawatts! So in answer to one of the last things that you said in your previous video, yeah, I'm pretty cool with enduring all the silliness. Crazy, of course you know that. But amid all the ponage celebration, I'm still in a hotel and I'm still creeped out by The Shining and Jack Nicholson. Whoa, jump cut back to Austin. Woo, I'm back in my room. Yay! Also, I'm having a really good hair day. So Julia, I was on that same 6-hour road trip that I was on last week that got me thinking a whole lot. And this time I was thinking about the time that we live in. So you know that I've been thinking a lot about writing and technology and how it's really difficult to teach it to kids if you have the attitude that they're just naturally going to develop it. I do want to app into that actually, that it does develop in progressive stages. That is very true. I've seen it happen with my own eyes. It's pretty cool actually. But it doesn't come naturally. It's not like learning how to chew or learning how to speak. So I kind of realized that what you and I are doing in our little vlog here, it's kind of cutting edge. Okay, so check it out. We don't know a lot about the generations who came before writing because they didn't write down a lot of stuff for us. So when it comes to learning about prehistoric generations, we have to depend on archaeology, which is admittedly a much less reliable, much more subjective, and way more controversial field of study. It belongs in a museum! Then writing came along at some unknown specific date all over the world, and historians can rejoice in the streets because now we don't have to depend entirely on the sort of sketchy science of archaeology, which I love. However, the materials with which people often wrote were not very durable. In ancient Rome, for example, they used to use like pieces of bark, which obviously if they haven't already decomposed into nature, then they're really hard to find because they just look like chunks of bark at this point. So still we depend a lot on archaeology, which for selfish reasons I actually think is pretty cool. But then 1450 happened, my favorite year in the 15th century. So 1450 made books possible, which is pretty fantastic. In a convenient bound form, they're actually a lot easier to store, which makes them a lot easier to preserve, which makes them a lot easier to find in later generations. So it's great that we can record stuff like this in print. Shameless advertising, yeah! And since books became more prevalent, the sciences, humanities, philosophy, which sort of allowed for the Enlightenment to happen, which basically our country is based on. So we had the Renaissance, we had the Enlightenment, now we have the digital age. Julia, fellow vlogger and sneak attackers, I propose that we are on the cusp of a digital revolution. The printing press was a revolution. We're in the middle of another revolution now. We have access to pretty much all of the information in the world. Yeah. So think about it. When recording history and recording thought, recording philosophy, recording fiction was expensive because it required printing presses and paper and ink and lots of material that could be duplicated quickly and efficiently, now we have the internet. I believe this is going to change history. Not just change the course of history, but change the practice of history. The videos that we're doing right now are pretty significant for our time. It's a brand new medium. People are learning how to become literate in it just the same way that people had to become literate in print media, and we're doing it. That really tickles. Oh man, the things I do for vlogging. And as we can see, it requires a lot of intelligence and maturity. Julia and Sneak Attackers, I'll see you later. I'm officially out of time, but at least we know I have my priorities straight.